This section comes later in the video, but I have to use it as a sizzle clip because it's just that remarkable. This entire thing is what Gabs converted our lounge into an engineered, the greatest blanket fort that's ever been made, ever, in the world.
That's right. Architect, what's up though? Yo, it's Long Beach, y'all. Yo, it's Long Beach, y'all.
What's important?
Let me hear that, babe.
Baby, stop filming so you can come and enjoy it in here.
Watch me dance.
Alright, is everybody ready?
Welcome to the middle of winter in Cape Town. It may look warm, but it's cold. Trust me, Gabs just keeps on finding us these outdoor baths in the middle of nowhere that just keep us toasty.
So toasty.
Joey, Joseph, Daniel Jr., Esther Hazen, Mace, you get yourself here right now. So therefore, Dan, Joey, Gabs, what are you guys doing in the middle of the Hills of Eyes in that creepy, weird cottage over there? Great question. So you've seen before what an important role Joey plays in the life of Gabs and I. He brought the ring when I asked Gabs to marry me. We've disguised him as a sheep to make him new friends. Taken him surfing. And then he was also the ring bearer at arguably the most eccentric garden wedding during the lockdown period. He is literally the centerpiece in our lounge. And now he's just turned 14 years old, so we wanted to do something super special for him. Gabs and I then sat down and put on our thinking caps.
Remember where it's snowing in Ceres?
Should we take him to the snow?
It's so cool because this is the only time he'll ever be able to see the snow because he's too old to fly.
This is super, super rare for Cape Town. We never get snow here, only sometimes up north, so it won't only be exciting for Joey, but for Gabs and I too.
Road trip!
Don't cross any cross
Age again? What's my age again? This video is brought to you by Storyblocks, and as I've said before, that doesn't alter my content. There's no red tape. I still get to do what I want to do and get supported for it. So, rad, big ups, Storyblocks. Storyblocks is an incredible stock site for motion graphics, footage, and audio. I use Storyblocks all the time for my motion scrapbooking, but I'll tell you more about that later. We drove north through the Huguenot Tunnel and up through an epic mountain pass onto higher ground, otherwise known as Ceres. It's honestly such an epic drive, and if you're ever fortunate enough to come to Cape Town, I highly recommend it. This is completely ridiculous, but on the way up, we watched a painting pig. And Gabs found it really amusing, which made it worth it for me. Joey, not so much. For him, his tricks like catching his tail take way more skill, and I'm inclined to agree. We then stopped over at this cabin in the woods, which reminded me kind of a horror movie where chainsaws and shit are involved. But that's just my anxiety. I'm sure it was really safe. However, it was freezing cold, but that's where we found the bath that I showed you in the intro. And the next morning we woke up at the crack of dawn and headed up the mountain with a very, very excited Joe boy. Are we going to the snow? Hey? Been given this road map, and we headed on this 4x4 track the whole way up there.
Show your camera setup. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Check here. I'm pretty proud of this one. It's pretty smooth. Oh, yeah. This road here is called Oopsie because if you fall off that cliff over there, well then...
Oopsie!
After 2 hours of bouncing around on the gravel roads, we finally reached the snow. In New York, the dogs walk around with balloons on their toes in winter to keep them warm, so that's what we're gonna do for you, boy.
To keep them warm, boy.
It's got beautiful mittens. What's he gonna think about this weird, cold, white powder beneath his balloon-covered toes? Joey has such a contagious smile. It just brings me so much joy when I see how happy he is. Since Joey was having such a good time, we decided to build him a snow sausage dog. Joey was so excited for me to show you the snow sausage dog that Mom and Dad made for him. It's a complete replica of him. Splitting image. We had to head home so that I could edit, as well as build this. Now, I don't have a name for it yet. You can definitely help me with a name for this. And it's by far the most complicated, eccentric idea that I've ever had, and I decided to execute on it. Which is, what if you had to connect all these different power tools along here? And bear in mind, this is only half of them. If you come around the back here and put them into one console, connected to a loop pedal and a synthesizer, as well as this high pressure sprayer. Would it be possible to make a really gnarly, bass-heavy track sampled with all of the shit behind me? I say, of course it would. Bear in mind, it's really far from completion, but I'll show you around. Here there needs to be this metal piece that goes into the chainsaw to give it like a... This leaf blower will have these leaves into it that'll be sampled really nicely. The angle grinder needs to throw sparks. Haven't really figured out what to do with the drill yet. Both of these will make really rad electronic samples. These bungee cords are going to be set up separately. I'll develop like a 6-string bass out of that. Obviously sounds like shit right now, but you get the point. I'm really enjoying these vlogs. I love making them because it gives me a chance to connect with you on a deeper level and really show you what goes on behind the scenes. Like this whole build is what my next Seeing Sounds will be. But yeah, it's just great to have you come along on the journey with me. And as always, if you think it's shit or boring, or there's something more that you would like me to introduce into these vlogs, please let me know in the comments. I will always honor my promise to put as much effort as possible into every single video I make. And that's why for now I can sustain doing 5 videos a month. That'll be 2 vlogs like this, 2 Seeing Sounds, and then one of the BS videos, which will be at the end of every month. So that's my upload schedule. And I'm glad we've had this time to chat because I've been exiled to the garage for a while now because Gabs has been inside all day preparing a surprise for me and she's ready to show me. So I'm going to take you with for as much of the journey as she allows. What's it, boy? Oh my God, Gabs. What the fuck?
Baby.
Are you fucking serious?
Follow the signs by the fridge.
There's a pipe running the whole...
Come and look at it.
Okay, I'm coming. Into dreamland. When Gabs and I started dating and we spent our first night together, she built us a blanket fort. So she engineered this piece of architecture to remind me of that night. I've said this before, but jeez, what a special human. I love you, Gabs. And then this room that Gabs calls the spa, which is my second favorite room, obviously after the red light district, because it has a full-on heated pool with bubbles.
Baby, stop filming so you can come and enjoy it in here.
Oh shit, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to Gabs, I'm gonna turn the camera off and enjoy the wonders that this red light district room has to offer. And I'll catch you in the morning for a tattoo story. But till then... Okay, time for a tattoo story. I've been most excited to share this tattoo story because every single tattoo I've ever gotten, this is by far the most sentimental. It's also the most prison-like looking tattoo, but the value that it carries is immense. Okay, so the story goes like this. I was living in a 5-star hotel at the time, not because I was making it rain, quite the opposite actually. I was 22 at the time and I just failed at running my first digital media agency called If Not Why Not. It broke my heart and bank account, but the fire burning within me to create rad shit was more alive than ever because of the people that had mentored me through the process, like Mr. Raymond Ackerman. So a good friend of mine that believed in my vision let me crash in his spare room at his hotel, which was in the center of Cape Town, so that I could start off in the freelance world from a solid foundation. He would always have all kinds of creatives from all walks of life around, mainly musicians, but all so like-minded. Work started picking up for me really quickly, and my dream of becoming a film director was very much in reach. And this came from understanding and practicing one very important life-changing quote. "Often opportunity is missed as it's disguised in overalls and looks like work," by Thomas Edison. Just imagine being able to alter your perception and understanding that the harder you grind, the more opportunities present themselves. So one evening, this girl arrived at the hotel who was covered in tattoos and randomly offered to tattoo me. And I said, I know exactly what to get. So I got the light bulb with the writing "Just Imagine" next to it to help me remember this incredible quote by Thomas Edison. It's an incredible feeling to get a tattoo when I was so much younger that still guides me. It's part of my navigation, you know. I look down onto my forearm and it keeps my thinking clear. And then earlier when I was talking about how Storyblocks really helps me advance my stories, it helps me to take the fragments from my imagination and turn them into a motion scrapbook to give them over to you, and that's through the incredible stock site. You know, when you've got something in your head and you're like, I wish I just got that shot. Storyblocks has your back. You can just go onto Storyblocks, and they've never failed me to deliver the kind of shot that I'm trying to portray. Which is probably because Storyblocks' unlimited library has over 1 million assets, and they're always adding new content. So do yourself a favor, if you haven't already, head over to storyblocks.com. I'll link it in the description below and sign up today. It's a super, super powerful tool for any creator. Okay, this is the perfect time to sign out this vlog while Gabs gets our favorite game fired up. Don't judge me for this one. Crash Bandicoot.
What's wrong with Crash Bandicoot?
Because I've lied on social media before to pretend that I like the pew-pew shooting games. Not really for me. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for all the support on the vlogs, and the subscribers are growing and things are feeling really good, and I'm just in a really good space, and thank you for that. I've been reading the comments and trying to engage as much as possible. So yeah, please keep them coming. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It's just a simple click of a button, as well as turn on your notifications bell so that you don't miss the next video, like the crazy electric tools instrument box that I've made. And yeah, I hope that you had as much fun watching this video as Gabs and I and Joey had making it. It's always a blast. And as always, don't forget, you're awesome, brew, and I'll see you next week.